In anticipation of the next supplemental budget, state agencies have put in their budget requests for more money for various programs, $1.3 billion in new requests. But one of the things that stood out to me was what agencies requested that had not been funded and what was funded. And I think the difference between those two things is indicative of how badly off our budgeting priorities are. Let me give you one example. So in the existing budget, there are $22.5 million for local climate planning. Local climate planning does nothing to reduce CO2 emissions. We have a cap. It doesn't change the cap. It makes no difference in how much CO2 Washington State will emit. And yet we're going to spend more than $20 million. And there's an additional $3 million requested for more local government climate planning, even though it doesn't change a thing about Washington's climate goals or climate emissions. By way of contrast, two agencies requested very tiny amounts of money for things that should be priorities. For instance, the Department of Corrections asked for $6.5 million to find and track down people with outstanding warrants. And they note in their budget request that these people are the most likely to offend. So here are people that they know should be behind bars and yet are more likely to offend, and yet they don't have the resources to go find them. $6.5 million is all they're asking for. There's another example. The DCYF, the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, is asking for less than $1 million to fund psychiatric care and mental health services for people in its care. Less than $1 million. Why? Because their reimbursement rates are so low, they haven't been changed since 2017. And the reimbursement rates are now lower than Medicaid. Why would psychiatrists, mental health counselors, other people providing services to people who need them do that when the rates haven't gone up in 8 years, almost a decade now? I think the contrast between the fact that we are spending tens of millions of dollars on local government climate planning, but the agencies have to ask for $6 million, $1 million for things like finding criminals who have outstanding warrants and providing mental health services to children and others who need them, is a perfect example of how badly off our budgeting priorities are. The legislature is going to have to find ways to cut. We are spending too much, we are taxing too much, and simply getting rid of many of the needless and wasteful things will make a big difference. But there are clearly things that are underfunded or need funding that are basic services that we are not funding. Instead, we are funding political priorities, payoffs to political supporters, rather than doing good governance and basic expenditures that every government should do.
If you found this informative, share it with a friend and consider checking out one of our suggested videos over here. Make sure you're subscribed so that you can stay up to date with the latest policy news from Washington.